What's up, everybody, and thank you for tuning into episode 15 of the TrueShot Guest Spot. And our guest this week is the band Tala. We have three of the I think they have more members now, but we have three of the members. We have Andrew Cooper, the bass player, Max Portnoy, the drummer, and vocalist Justin Bonitz. So real quick, I'll just say this right out. This interview got corrupted due to me having a power surge in the middle of the interview. It was very bizarre. Everything just went black. So we lost about half of the interview, but we still have about an hour of the interview for you. And about 2/3 of the way through, you'll notice that we come back in after I come back from the power surge. So it is what it is. But like I said, in this one, we have Andrew Cooper, the bass player. We have Max Portnoy and Justin Bonitz. We don't have a video for you either because, again, I don't know if it had anything to do with the power surge, but the video is very it's not watchable. I'll put it that way. It'd be very annoying to watch it. So you'll see just a still of a screenshot that I have from the interview. But anyways, guys, this is Tallah. Check out their debut LP, Matriphagy, which came out on October 2nd. And here we go. We got Andrew Cooper, Max Portnoy, and Justin Bonitz from Tallah. Enjoy. What's up, everybody, and thank you for tuning in to this edition of the TrueShot Guest Spot podcast. And with me today, I have the Nation of Domination over here. Three members of the band Tallah. We got Cooper, Andrew Cooper, also known as Cooper. We got Justin Bonitz, and we got Max Portnoy. For those of you, I'm gonna name off all these acts that y'all are associated with. I didn't get Max's because I know he came in last minute, but so for Cooper, I got Tallah, Saravo. Is that?
Yeah, man.
All right, and Dead Stop, and then Justin. Okay, here we go. You're gonna have to give me a minute to get. You're gonna have to give me a minute here. We got Tallah, Hungry Lights, Prilly T, Beautifully Worthless Beings, From the Look of Things, and Call It Ego. Is that right?
Yeah.
I didn't miss any, right?
There's also Snail Fetus Kidney Sacrifice.
Okay, well, you got to add that to your Instagram because
that one's more of a joke project. And then I got Auto Rocket and the Pro Mates. That's a joke project.
Auto Rocket. Oh, boy. Oh, man. Well, guys, thank you so much for doing this. I wasn't sure how I was going to get. I was like, all right, maybe I'll just get Justin. Justin's like, all right, Cooper's going to join. And then he's like, all right, then Max. And I'm like, oh, well, where's the guitar player? Is that the diva of the group, the guitar player? He's like, nah.
Yeah, kind of, yeah.
I mean, if you consider dogs divas, or canines, rather.
Well, guys, I know that you guys are you just released a record, Matriphagy. That's how you pronounce it, correct?
Yes,
you got it. You nailed it.
Cool.
Well,
dude, I didn't get an English degree for nothing. You know, that's why I interview metalcore, newcore bands and pronounce words correctly most of the time. But so that came out on Friday, correct?
Was it Friday? Yes, it was Friday.
October 2nd, yeah.
Cool, and it's 13 tracks. So here's the problem with because I know that you guys, I know that we connected through the reaction videos. It's very difficult for me to listen to stuff because I never know when I'm going to need to check it out for the channel. So I've only checked out the tracks that you've seen us do on YouTube. So I'm pretty new to the Tallah game, but I got introduced with your track LED, and I just got to say that track.
I remember that reaction. That was awesome.
Yeah, dude, that track was like, I believe I did like an interpretive dance for it. I was like, this is what this song looks like if it was a person.
Yeah.
But dude, that song was insane. But so I did a little bit of research. I listened to a few podcasts. I know that Justin, you were on a couple podcasts. I listened to those, and so just for the listeners and the viewers out there, talk a little bit about, we'll get out of the way. How the band form, we'll get that out of the way now.
Actually, I'm going to give that question to Max.
Yeah, let's hear it from Max.
He's like the secret mastermind.
Okay.
So my thing glitched out for a second. Were you asking how the band formed?
Yeah. I figured I might as well just get that Wikipedia type question out of the way. Yeah.
Hopefully, I think I have a little bit of bad connection, but hopefully I don't.
No, you sound good, dude.
Okay, cool. Okay, so I formed the band. I was coming out of my last band, which was like a prog band, but I wanted to do something really heavy, and it's because I've been doing like the prog stuff for years, and I've always listened to like new metal stuff and really heavy metal type things. So I wanted to get into that world.
Yeah.
So I knew Derek because Derek played in my other band. So he wanted to do whatever I was doing, so he came along with me. And then I knew Cooper as well from just playing in like the Philly scene and stuff, like with our other bands.
Oh, we lost.
Oh
him.
no.
So I hit him about like the craziest bass player that I know. So is Cooper. Oh, am I cutting out again?
You're back. You're back.
You did a little bit, so if you mind, just go back and just repeat a little bit of what
I
you
knew
said.
Cooper from the Philly scene.
Yeah.
And then I hit him up. I was like, "Yo, let's play together." And he was like, "Okay, cool." So we went through like many different lineups over like the course of a couple months.
Yeah.
And we eventually just ended up tracking the 5-song EP. No One Should Read This instrumentally. We didn't have a vocalist at the time. So we just tracked it instrumentally. It wasn't like intended to be an instrumental EP. We were just figured track all the instruments, and then whoever we get to do vocals, we'll just record over them.
Yeah.
So then we used those to send to Justin because I had seen his YouTube channel before, and we had gotten in contact, and it just sent him like the demos from it. They weren't even mixed at the time, and they were still just demo. And he did the vocals, and then we played a show together like 7 days later.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's right. Yeah, that happened so quick.
That was crazy.
Yeah, from my understanding from listening to the podcast, it sounded like he was like, "Yo, like I can do this, but you got to give me a little bit of time. I got a thing coming out." And then you were just like, "But that's cool, but we got a show in like 7 days or whatever." So is that kind of how it happened? Is that Justin was kind of like put in a situation where he wrote the EP in like a few days and. Man, that's crazy.
Because Max, he was like, "Hey, man, like we have a show like next week," but he's like, "You don't have to come to it. We'll just have Derek like do some like mock vocals for like whatever." And I was like, "No, I can do it. I can do it." And then I like wrote all the songs. We went to the show. I knew like 80% of the lyrics. Like some of it was just me repeating a line over and over because I was like, "I don't remember this part."
Repeating is not cheating.
It was nuts.
Oh man, that's so funny. Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I feel like I was way too relaxed going into that. Like we were like a little bit like a week before our first show, and we didn't even have a vocalist. And I was just kind of like, "Hey, it'll work out."
Well, honestly, we weren't like hyping it or like going like super like we weren't like being like, "Yo, this band is gonna be the future." Like we weren't trying to like be any type of way about it. I think we were just like excited to play the music at that point. I mean. But and kind of like you were like you said, we were just like, you know, if we'll do something and it'll work out. It'll be fine.
Well,
we'll figure it out.
I still just kind of just go up there and just you know, and you know, it's people figure it out one way or the other. But it reminds me, we had a show back in November. And I was like deathly ill. I say that I was patient zero of COVID. Like that's my conspiracy. I was,
man!
But they say it didn't come until the beginning of this year. But I'm like, yo, like I was like deathly
ill. I heard November
is
where it really started.
Well, I'll tell you what. The breeding ground for COVID was the As I Lay Dying a Muir after the burial show in Boston because I got sick shortly thereafter. But anyway, I didn't play, and dude, they ended up backtracking my vocals. I'm like, why did you guys do that? Just go instrumental at that point. It must have sounded horrible. But yeah. So the part that you left out though, Max, because now listen, I know we're gonna bring up your dad here. Let's just address the elephant in the room. Your dad is Mike Portnoy, who actually I know from back in my high school days, 2010. I was a big Avenged Sevenfold fan, so. I remember when he jumped on that album, everybody was like, Mike Portnoy's doing the drums on this. And I'm like, who? But so your dad actually hit Justin up. Is that correct?
I glitched out again, but I know what you're talking about.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, because Justin had a ton of like YouTube followers.
Yeah.
So I was just like, he probably gets a ton of messages just from random kids that are like, join my band. So I was like, he's not even gonna like look at like my profile or who I am or anything. I was just like, but my dad at least has a verified check and like some followers. It probably looks a little bit more legit.
Right.
So I just like hey, Dad, can I use your account, please? Can I just send a message? And it worked. It got his attention.
So now you guys have to make sure for every Christmas you send Justin a text that says Happy Holidays every time that happens.
But DAZE.
DAZE, exactly. That's what I got from the research. That's what I heard. That was the hard hitting facts that I wanted to address. But
that's the truth. Like I was just
what's Happy Holidays?
Well, I heard Justin had said in one of the many podcasts or interviews that I listened to that Mike, Max's dad, actually sent him a message that said Happy Holidays with the DAZE.
Is that the message you
That's
sent?
how he spelled it. And I was just like, who is this guy? What is that? What?
I love that.
Amazing.
It was like on Christmas, pretty much.
Yeah, it was pretty much Christmas.
Yeah.
It was like December 20th or something. Actually,
It'd be hilarious.
Christmas Eve, I'm pretty sure. Because I was like at my grandparents' house, which is like we always go there Christmas Eve. So I'm pretty sure those. Which means you we pretty much started writing not that short after that, like, because you officially started writing on New Year's Day, which was 7 days before the show.
Oh my God, I have it. Hold on, can I put it in the chat? Your info is blacked out, but I saved it.
Oh boy.
I knew I saved it. I was like, did I save the picture?
Oh boy.
It's you just have to see it with your own eyes.
Oh boy.
What is it?
It's the actual message I got.
Shit.
Let's see here.
Hey man,
Oh,
this
it's
is
gone.
Mike
Where'd it go?
Portnoy, ex-Dream Theater Vengeful 7. My son Max is killing new band and he's looking for I fucking love it.
That is-
I didn't even realize it's one word, just holidays.
I love that. It would have been great if it was like July 17th when he sent that message. Just like, Happy Holidays. It's July. That would have been great. Well, listen, I think that's one of the better band formation stories. I mean, it beats, our story of Craigslist, and I just happened to find a dude who played guitar decently. But that's a much better story. But what I'm like more interested in is, Justin, you had no idea who Mike even was. That's right?
That's true. But
Okay.
I got a quick question for you.
Okay.
I just noticed your accent. Are you from Boston?
We were gonna get there because I figured out that you were from I'm from New Hampshire, so we got a lot of we got a lot of
close enough.
we got a lot of mutuals that we can talk, like Fathom Farewell and all that. We can talk.
Oh, heck yeah! All right, we'll get to that.
Yeah. So,
but yeah, I'd listened to a lot of speed metal growing up. I'd listened to like a lot of classic rock. I never listened to prog. I never got into Rush, and I never got into Dream Theater.
right.
So when I saw that message, when he said X Avenged Sevenfold and stuff, because I'd stopped listening to Avenged Sevenfold after the self-titled album, after the Rev died. So I stopped listening. So I just wasn't on my radar. So I was like, okay, so this must be like one of those drummers that like fills in like when somebody needs a drummer. And I went to his YouTube channel and was like looking at videos of him drumming. I'm like, all right, he's really good. So his son's probably pretty good too. But I just didn't realize that this is like this world like top 3 best drummers ever like guy.
Yeah.
Until my friend Jordan told me he's a huge Dream Theater fan. So I was like, yeah, I'm going to be in this band with this guy like Max Portnoy. And then he just goes like Portnoy. And then he just like sends me Max's other band. And I was just like, oh, and he's like, this is a huge deal. And was like flipping out. And I was just like, I feel like a douchebag now.
Well, that's so funny you say that, because like we get comments all the time in our on our YouTube channel, but check out this band, and I've seen Tala, I've heard about Tala because of, we'll get to it, our mutual friend Alex from Fathom Farewell. So I kind of checked you guys out, and I was like, wait a minute, Portnoy. I was like, what? And then I saw that. But I want to touch on that real quick because, I'm into sports and whatnot, and they talk about the son of the player and whatnot. Max, I want you to touch on that real quick, man. Like, what is that like being? This is a very big question, but what's it like being like the son of a guy who, he's very popular, you know what I mean? And are you kind of like trying to shed away from that, like, oh, this is Max Portnoy, Mike Portnoy's son? Are you just like, no, man, I just want to be Max, let me just be Max?
Yeah, my dad's just my dad, so I don't overthink it.
Right. Well, because I mean, to me, I'll be totally honest with you. I think this is probably the reaction a lot of people have. Because, like I said, I listened to Avenged, and Nightmare came out, so I was like, oh damn, like this dude's dad's the guy on Nightmare, damn. So like I was like into it, But obviously, from your point of view, he's just your dad. Like, my dad's my dad. If somebody's like, "Oh my God, Richard's dad," I'd be like, "What are you talking about?" But but yeah. So
Yeah,
I mean, yeah. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say he's upstairs like watching TV. It's like I don't know. It's just my dad.
You mean he's not
It's
just
so
doing
funny.
drum solos 24/7?
He's not.
He's
He
just
doesn't ever play drums.
he's just sitting there watching The Social Dilemma, going.
Stop playing.
He just never stops. But cool, man. Yeah. So real quick, we'll just go to it, Justin. I know that I figured out that you were kind of from the Mass area a little bit.
Yeah.
I know that from what I had gathered, you're kind of a little bit of a nomad, so to speak. You kind of move around a little bit. But,
Yeah, I'm all over the place.
Yeah. Right. But are you originally from Mass or?
All right, so I was born in Connecticut.
Okay.
And when I was 2 years old, my family moved to Massachusetts. We moved to Ashburnham, Massachusetts.
Okay.
And I lived there until I was around like 15. And then I moved to Palm Harbor, Florida for like a year.
Okay.
And then I came back to Mass because I just didn't like my grandpa lives in Florida. So I was like, I just kind of live with my grandpa for a year. And then I was like, I kind of miss my mom and like all my friends and stuff. So I came back. And then eventually I moved, and then I moved again, and now I'm just like, wow, like wherever I want to be.
Yeah. Yeah, that's got to be nice. So I have a 9-year-old son, and I'm just like, damn it, I'm here forever. Like, I can't leave. But but so Alex from Fathom Farewell, that obviously pretty well. I know that he's done
We went to like elementary school and like high school and stuff together.
Oh, really? Wow. Okay, so you know him like that. I thought it was just like you guys, were in the
No,
same.
so
Okay.
that's a funny story too.
All right.
I met Alex when I think I was 10 or 11 is when he moved to like the Ashburnham school district.
Okay.
So I met him there. We were actually like best friends all the way up until like maybe 7th grade because they had like team A and team B.
Yeah.
And then I went on to team B and he went on to team A, and we just never saw each other again.
That was it.
And then in college, we ended up taking a music class together. And I was like, is that Alex from like when I was a kid? But like, I didn't want to ask because, I was super awkward in college, and I was just like, I think that's him. But like, and then eventually like the music teacher was like, Alex Cohen. And I was just like, but I still didn't say anything because I was like, well, what if he doesn't remember me? Like, what if like we left on a bad foot or something? He hates me now. So I just never talked to him again. And then I was at the mall in like 2019, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And it was with this guy who's like kind of my friend, but like kind of like more than my friend. But it's a complicated story. But we were at the mall on Halloween, and these two dudes came up to us, and they were like, yo, are you Justin Bonitz? And I was like, yeah. And they're like, yo, I know your Scream tutorial. And they were like, yo, get a picture. So I was like, all right.
Wow.
So they took that picture. They posted it. They were from a band that Fathom plays with like all the time. I think they were called Martial Law or something like that.
Dude, I know. Yeah. Like Alex, the drummer. And I know all them guys. Yeah, very well.
So they put the picture on Talah's Facebook, and then I saw Alex reply, and he was like, yo, I went to school with Justin. And I was like, yo, Alex, what's up? And then he still lived in the area, so he started coming over to my house, and I would help him with his cover channel, which is awesome. You should check that out if you haven't.
Yeah, I have.
But we're just doing covers and stuff, and I think he moved to Rhode Island now. But like, he was like, yeah, man, like we went on tour with Fathom, and like he's just like my homie again. It's awesome.
So what I got out of all that, I just want to ask you, when the teacher took the attendance, did they say Alex Cohen, and did they say Hungry Lights, or did they say your real name?
No, I was not Hungry Lights until like 2015.
Oh, okay.
So they called me this is the one reason I'm glad I don't ever have to go to school again. Is every teacher called me Justin Bonitz, and I always had to go, it's Bonitz. And so after I graduated, I never heard that again. Everyone, for some reason, pronounces it right now, and I'm just like, yes. Well,
the teacher's trying to be ethnic. They're trying to be cultural. They see the Z, and they got to add the tilde on there and everything. You know what I'm saying? They got to make it sound good. But no, that's really
Bonitz.
Bonitz. There's no E in there, but
I've gotten the Bonitz one time, and I was like, how did you do that? There's no what?
Bonitez.
yeah,
I got Justin
Casa
Bonitz a
Bonitez?
lot as well. They like the Bonitz. So I'm just like no, it's exactly how it's spelled, Bonitz.
I know people have. My last name is Janvrin, which is annoying. But some people are like Jarvin. I'm like, dude, you missed like 3 consonants. But no, that's really cool. Because I put all that together after we did the reaction to LED. I was like, I started piecing it together. I'm like, oh, okay, he's the guy from that screen tutorial that I have seen. I've seen it because I'm one of the 3 million. Because you looked familiar, but I was just like, I don't know. And then I figured out it was you, and then I figured out you knew Alex and Fathom, and I figured out you were from the Massachusetts or you had been a part of the Massachusetts area. So I thought that was very.
I'm still in Massachusetts.
Oh, you still are? Okay, yeah. So I'm up in New Hampshire, right on like the Mass line. So yeah, we've played.
Oh wow! So you're like super close. You might be like 15 to 30 minutes away. I could be doing the podcast on your sofa right now.
The casting couch right over there, baby. Let's go. The TrueShot casting couch,
don't you?
Oh man, if you want a crazy name story.
Oh boy, yeah, go ahead.
Well, first I gotta ask Cooper. Is it okay if I tell the story about your
boy.
name?
Oh boy.
But my name?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Okay, yeah.
I joined the band and everyone called him Cooper, so I thought his name was Cooper. Then he's like, no, it's Andrew Cooper. So I was like, all right, so his last name's Cooper, okay. And then like after being in a band with this guy for a year, I found out his name is David Andrew Cooper. I was like, what? Like
You went backwards. You went backwards with his name.
Dude, I'm also the 5th.
Oh,
Yeah, it's the
5 of
fifth.
them. I think we just did that this week.
Really?
I don't know if we discovered that. Did you not know that until just now?
No.
Look at that. Okay, new headline on Metal Injection. Bassist of Tala reveals his suffix, but but
Lineage.
no, that's funny. So he's revealing his name over time. He's like, all right, we're just meeting him. He gets Cooper, but then we'll move up to Andrew, and then he'll know. No, that's funny though.
I'm
But
like
it's weird. It's like 2020. It's been what, 2 years now? And I still just call him Cooper. I'm like, I'm like, that's his name. His name's Cooper. Like, I can't.
Yeah.
Nothing else. It just doesn't ring. I'm like, what's up, Coop?
That's it. That's all it has. That's all you need.
Yeah.
I started going by Cooper in high school, I think. People didn't call me that until like about high school. That was just like it.
It's so interesting. The people that I know who have like Cooper in their name, but not necessarily like their last name, they like go by Cooper for whatever reason. I don't know if that's just
such
like
a cool name.
Yeah.
Fucking good ass name, man.
And
I've disassociated my whole father side of my family. Like my parents got divorced, so like I don't keep in touch with that side. But I do got the name, so like I made out with that. So I'm pretty stoked about that.
That's cool. But but going back to the beginning of Tala, I know that Max, you kind of started this, which I think is really cool that you're kind of bringing. I know that it seems like all of the new metal-y kind of stuff, which I love. Like I love Limp Bizkit, I love Amur. Like I know that they're not necessarily new metal, but they have. I mean, you listen to one Amur song, you're like, okay, I kind of see where this guy's coming from. But so I know that you kind of started this. Now the writing process for the initial stages of Tala, was that kind of all you, Max? Did you kind of handle the instrumental portion of it before the members joined and got finalized?
Like early, yeah, I guess it's been like that the whole time. Like I wrote like Placenta and Kungan just like demoing out in my basement, just like I do most of them. So yeah, like I had like a very specific vision with the band when I was putting it together, like a very specific sound, and like I just wanted to like drill it. So like I had all these ideas like all from like years or whatever, just like what I've kind of wanted to do. So it's easy for me to just like sit down and demo it out and get these ideas out.
I remember when we started when you had stuff like to work on with the group at that time, it was the best definition was probably too many cooks in the kitchen.
Okay.
When we were getting shit like solidified, like, figured out, like you obviously knew what you were going for, but then like I'm new to the scene and style and like the genre, so to speak. So like I'm sort of here to listen and learn and like just sort of figure out like what my role is in the band as the low end and the rhythm section and where I should link up with Max and which parts and stuff. So I'm learning and finding out this and the other members at the time, it was like a lot of ideas coming from a lot of different angles, and it was just like it felt like I would almost say overwhelming to just like have. I don't want to say everyone was like bombarded with ideas, but it just felt like Max had like it worked in a interesting way. Like I'm thinking if we gave you like Max, if it was just like a fucking bullet train and you just like gave you like the reins to just, not that we didn't give you the reins, but like if everyone had just stepped back and just like let him do it.
Yeah, that's
might have gone.
That's interesting because I know that from what I did. Because see, this is how I do my research. I sit down, I put on Madden or I put on World of Warcraft, and I just listen to podcasts or do stuff like that. Which I know, Max, I know that you mentioned in one of the interviews you play World of Warcraft. We'll get there. Listen, I know that Cooper's into wrestling. We'll get there. I know you people, okay? I don't even
need to sound like you're a stalker.
Listen, I'm in your closet doing this podcast. All three of your closets simultaneously. But because your favorite band is Red Hot Chili Peppers, Cooper, is that right? So.
Oh man, he did his research
sure.
hard.
I mean, didn't have to look too hard.
So
literally.
Is that kind of the style of music that you initially gravitated towards before getting into Tala and this kind of stuff? Because if so, that is quite the jump stylistically.
Yeah, I primarily listen to and like enjoy funk music and just I mean I wouldn't call it. I fucking love like hard shit. Like I grew up like
Disturbed.
when I got into heavy music, like Slipknot was like one of the big, like probably them and like Linkin Park were like the two like heaviest bands that I was getting into. And then but aside from that, I was listening to like Smashing Pumpkins.
Okay.
I was listening to Alien Ant Farm. I was listening to Sum 41.
Oh geez.
I was listening. Nickelback, Creed, like those bands.
Oh, Creed.
Yeah.
Oh man.
And then I was also getting into musicals at that time. Like I was into like just weird shit, just like different stuff. Like Jekyll and Hyde was one I was really into. Les Mis.
Okay.
And then when I got like I finally got a bass, I started playing, Chili Pepper stuff. I started playing Queen stuff. I started, just fucking around and just whatever I could sort of listen to and just like get my little 11-year-old brain to wrap around and try and figure out.
Yeah.
But it was a lot of like the alternative probably is like the most like encompassing genre.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah,
but like I definitely tend towards the funky side of shit. Like Gorillaz was always a fun shit, and that was always weird enough to get into, stuff like that.
All right, cool. So you basically went from like music that could be played inside of a Macy's to Justin licking glass with birdshit on it.
yeah, all right. I would say maybe music inside of a Spencer's, but like
all right, very nice.
But like the old Spencer's, but like old when it was like before.
Queen is
I like
Macy's.
that, dude. That new
Queen's definitely
Spencer's.
Macy's, I'll give you that.
The new Spencer's, I'm not into that. That old Spencer's though.
I don't
that
know.
stuff.
I guess I don't have the new Spencer's sound.
So Max,
Spencer's sound.
I want to go back to Max here. Max, now listen, this is a conversation just between you and me. So, but Justin and Cooper are not here, okay? Now, when you had all this music written and you had Justin come in, who was, a studio guy, he was on Hungry Lights, he's got the YouTube channel, he's got the millions of views. Was he kind of a pain in the ass?
When we first, no, not really.
Okay. Because
honestly,
the reason I asked,
started, he was really cool. He just was kind of like, yo, what can I do? Like he was just like, I just want to write my vocals. I really don't give a shit about anything else. He's just kind of like, can I do a concept? I was like, sure. And he's just like, okay. And then he sent me like the song. He's like, is this cool? And I was like, yeah, that's cool.
All right, cool.
Okay. When when Justin first sent the demos, I think the only thing was just he put vocals over literally the entire song.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Yeah, he didn't give me any timestamps, so I was just went in when I felt like it.
I was just like, okay.
That's so funny.
I had to be like, this is the verse, this is the chorus, like this part's instrumental. That's probably the only thing.
It was literally like he's not exaggerating. Like Kungan starts and does the dun da 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 dun da 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 da, and then as soon as the drums came in, I came in, and then I did not stop until the breakdown. I stopped for a second, came in the breakdown, and then just did another breakdown after that, and kept going after the song finished.
So
he just gets this track back, and it's just like, dude.
It's like, dude, do you know there's a structure here? Okay.
Ever written music before? Like, I've seen your channel, man. I've seen you write music. I know you can do it.
So that's actually a really a kind of an interesting segue because Justin, I know that you did a lot of studio stuff. I know that we went off of your rap sheet here of your 15 projects that you're associated with. What was that? What was that like going from being primarily studio to doing a live performance? Did you notice like the fatigue with your voice? Because I know that you're obviously a very talented you're a very talented vocalist. I would say that right now. I'm still working on it, but like you're very talented, and I mean you can do a ton of different stuff. But to be able to track a song, as you know, I know that I'm saying this, this is obvious, but when you track a song, it's a lot different than when you have to perform it live because you're like, oh, I can't just do this section here, redo it a few times, and then do the next section. I got to go through. So did you? Yeah. What was that like doing it live for like the first few times? Were you like, oh my god, I think I set myself up for failure here?
I didn't think I set myself up for failure.
Yeah.
Because. So I was in one other band like before Tallah when I was a teenager. So when you like look at the Hungry Lights stuff and like trace it back, it started off as a band and then slowly like everyone just left. And I was like, well, I wrote all the music and pretty much just told everyone what to play.
Okay.
So I'm just going to keep going. And it turned into a solo project. And then after that, I was like, oh, I could just do solo projects. I don't need people. So like, that's how I became a studio artist to begin with. But when I typically track something, I do it like I'll do like a whole verse until I mess up, and then I'll just go back and go from when I messed up onward. And then when I do covers online, I just do the whole song all the way through.
Okay.
So I was it can't be that hard, but it's still just as hard. The first thing I noticed was I was like, oh yeah, I can do it live because I used to be in a band. But I played lead guitar and sang at the same time. I wasn't jumping around like a freaking madman.
That was going to be my next question. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm just like standing there playing guitar, but also like singing, and like the breakdown would hit and I would just stand in one spot and kind of just dun 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 dun. So I'm like, yeah, I got stage presence, and I'm used to moving around in the booth where it's like I move around, but I don't actually like move my feet. I'm just kind of in this spot. So I joined Tallah. We're at practice, and I'm like, oh, this is fine. Like at practice, because again, I was going crazy, but I was at this one spot, and it was still this controlled environment where I could hear myself. Everything was perfect. So then suddenly we get on stage, and there were a lot more people that I'm used to playing for. Like when I was in a band, it was like, like 12 people would show up, and we're like, yeah. Like we played the Worcester Palladium one time at this Battle of the Bands, and there was like maybe 200 people there, and I was like, whoa. But this was like Tallah's first show, had a pretty good turnout. Yeah. And I remember like, oh my God, like, why are all these people here? And then I forgot 80% of the lyrics. I'm jumping around, like pacing, going nuts. And then I made the horrible decision of wearing a sweater vest and like a full button up. So I'm like, and I was like, I'm not taking this off. No way. Like, this is my costume.
Dude,
so
that shook me when I saw that. When I saw you wear that, I was like, this guy's for real.
I thought I was going to have a heat stroke. It was so hot. And I remember my mouth was getting so dry because I couldn't hear myself. We had 3 guitarists at the time. So I'm just like, I can't hear myself. So I'm like over projecting because I didn't know that was bad at the time. And I'm like, yeah, as long as I can hear my head resonance. I also wasn't wearing like any hearing protection at all.
Oh, geez.
Because I never thought I needed it, because my other band, we were playing with these little like Line 6 like Spider 4 amps where like they pack a punch, but it's like they're not going to make you go deaf.
Right.
So suddenly I'm in this band with 3 guitarists and this super loud bassist, and Max hits so hard. And I remember my ears were ringing for a week. But we finished the set, and I kind of went into the hallway where it's like this dressing room, and I just slid down against the wall and was like, what the fuck was that? Like, I thought I was going to throw up. It was so hard. And honestly, like, I'm glad we've been on tours and stuff, because it was like a learned skill. Like, I had to learn to pace myself and project the right way and like be able to perform as good as I do in a studio on stage, because I was like, I can't be sounding great in the studio and then go on stage and sound like shit. That's embarrassing. I can't do it.
Yeah, because I've seen some videos where I don't know if you're you could be screaming or convulsing. It's one of the two. I mean, you don't really know. And so I saw that, and I'm like, because I know for me, like, I try to move around a little bit, but then I'm like, all right, dude, you gotta like you gotta calm down. You're gonna like be dead by song 3 here. You gotta relax. So that's why I always notice, like, some vocalists, when I would go to shows, they kind of like stayed relatively still. Like, for example, like Ryan Kirby from Fit for a King, he doesn't really move a whole lot. And I was just like, I get it now, because you will die if you continuously move. But that's very interesting. Yeah, because it's weird, like, when you go to like that first show, like, I know for me, like, my very first show, I was just like, oh man, I'm so hyped, I'm so pumped, and then like I start moving around, and I'm like, oh my god, I can't breathe. It's like 30 seconds into the first song, so
it's a lot harder than it looks.
Yeah, it is, especially like you said, like, because no in-ears or anything like that. I don't know what's going. I'm just like rah, and then like then I'm like dead, but.
Everyone wants me to get in ears. Like Waylon Revis from AKC, he keeps telling me like, man, you got to get some good in ears, and I'm always like, I don't want them because I'm gonna break them. Like, I'm gonna roll around on the ground and smash the box, and they're gonna like fall out of my ears. I'm gonna step on them. I'm like, I'll just keep using those stupid little earplugs.
Yeah,
I want to get the ones that we can talk to each other with.
Yeah, that would be really. That's down the road.
The Roots has them, and I want to get them. They're fucking sweet.
Well, I mean, you guys have 177,000 monthly listeners on Spotify. I mean, surely you can afford this stuff. I mean,
I don't think
we'll
we can. How expensive are they?
I don't know. 6 pairs.
In-ear monitors that you can talk to each other.
While Justin is looking that up,
all those streams will probably net us about $3.
Yeah, right. But while Justin's looking that up, the name of the band Tallah, I know how it came up. I know how it came up with it, but I'm sure a lot of people are curious. I'll hand this one over to Max because I know that that was kind of your idea for how the name came to be. So go ahead. How did the name Tallah come to be, Max?
So we needed a name. It was a couple months, like maybe 2 or 3, and we just didn't have a name. Because you either find a name that only like one person likes in the band, or like they're 90% of the time they're all taken is the main problem. So I was filling in for Dollskin because their drummer couldn't make a couple shows. So I went and played with them for like, I think it was like 3 or 4 shows. And we just set out like a piece of paper on the merch table. I was just like, give us band name ideas. And I had like a bunch of different papers, like front and back of just hundreds of ideas. But some little girl just literally wrote her name down, and her name was cool. It was Tallah. Yeah. So I came back, and I was showing everyone like the pages from the shows, and like I think a couple people like picked up on that name. Like that's kind of cool, and it just sounded cool.
Yeah, no, I agree. And so not only did you
name simple.
Yeah, so not only did you use her name, but you also used her handwriting as the font for you guys, correct?
Yeah.
That is super cool. I thought that was like really unique, because that's another thing that people don't really think about is the font for your band name is a big deal. And so to come up with something like that, I think that's creative, and it looks it's very different rather than, we're just like the bold typeface, just like we're right there in your face, that kind of thing. But you guys have a little girl's handwriting. I think that's cool.
We stick out on any freaking show flyer because you'll always have these like death metal band logos. Then you have ours that just looks like some little kid wrote it with a crayon.
Yeah. Or
it reminds me of Worms. Like it's just a bunch of worms.
Or you have like It Dies on Tomorrow's Grave. You have those kind of bands, and then you have Tala, and it's just like I like the one name band names. Just
Madonna.
It's one word. It's 2 syllables. It's easy.
Yeah.
It's. I feel like it's memorable enough where like it's not like, oh shit, it's so long I can't remember. It's like.
All right, so real quick, you're probably very confused as to what just happened because I was going to a punchline and then everything just kind of went to black. But basically, what happened is I just had a power surge. So we're rejoining the podcast right now. And now, the joke that I was going to tell before has come and gone, so I'm not going to try to redo it or anything like that because that would just be embarrassing.
No, that was the punchline.
That was it.
Yeah, I was like, I go and then boom, and then I have a David Blaine power. I can just make my computer completely turn off. But because what I was saying is that I wanted to go into this interview because I don't know if past interviews you've been with where people are like, So Mike's your dad, I understand. So I just wanted to lean into it and just go the total opposite direction of it and just make jokes about it.
I think it's awesome.
Yeah,
I'm about it.
Here's the other thing. I saw in one of the interviews that you guys did, I saw that Cooper brought up he was a wrestling fan, particularly the Attitude Era. Is that correct? My sir?
WWE.
Yeah. So
when it was
good.
Or WWF, excuse me.
Yeah. So how if you don't mind me asking, because I want to make sure that it's okay to ask you your age. How old are you? Were you able to enjoy the Attitude Era when it was going on?
So I was probably in I'm 30, so I got it, but
okay.
I think I was I think most of it was
yeah.
I maybe got maybe the last I don't know how long. I don't even know how long it was. 4 years.
Yeah, about that. About 4 years or so. Yeah.
So I probably got the last 2 years of it, maybe 3 years of it. So it was Bret Michaels was this was I didn't see
Shawn Michaels. Bret Michaels is the Poison guy from Rock of Love or whatever.
Shawn Michaels and then Bret Hart though, right?
Yeah,
Bret Hart was the guy.
Yeah.
So Bret Hart died.
Right? Owen Hart.
Owen Hart. So Owen Hart. So I missed that. That was after that was before my time. But Stone Cold, the Texas Rattlesnake, he's my guy.
All right.
Fucking X-Pac doing the Suck It. Oh my God. I could not do that enough as a kid.
Yeah.
That was the best fucking that was better than giving the middle finger to someone because they almost they almost couldn't it wasn't fuck you. It was just suck on this shit.
I know it's so crazy to think that we're just 6-year-old, 7-year-old kids running around telling people to suck it. I mean, imagine that today. The school would be calling you.
Oh
the kid would need to be in some kind of re-correctional therapy or something like that. I mean, but back then it was okay. You could just walk around and say suck it to people. But
and I got to shout out. I got it real quick. I got to shout out Dwayne the Rock Johnson from my fucking neighboring town. He's from Bethlehem. So
what?
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna say he was featuring on a Tala song. All right, well that's it is.
If he featured on it,
imagine that the breakdown.
He featured on a Wyclef Jean song.
The breakdown.
The breakdown.
Everything was quiet. You smell what the Rock is cooking.
Oh shit, I would love that.
But Vince McMahon would want his share of the stream revenue on that one.
We
though.
could not.
Yeah. I mean, after Earache, got their share, and then Vince McMahon got his share. You'd be paying. So
we have the crumbs.
Yeah. So
if there even were crumbs.
Are either of you guys into wrestling? I know wrestling now. I mean, it's just god awful. But I mean, were either of you guys? I know that Max. I know that you're on the younger end. But were either? I mean, go ahead.
When I was young, I used to watch it a lot. But it was WWE. I don't know. I was probably 8 years old.
Yeah, I was gonna say, and then you turn.
That's when I started watching.
Yeah, then you turn 9 and you moved on to better things, But you're not a 40. You're not a 40-year-old. You're not a 40-year-old man going crazy for this stuff like these people are today. But I think that's hilarious, man. You got because like I said, I have a 9-year-old son, so he went through the wrestling phase, and I would bring him there, and there's these groups of 40-year-old men doing the dances, and I'm like, guys, what are you doing? Like, I mean, this is for children. You understand? But I mean, like, hey, whatever you're into, all the more power to you. But this is
I know
very.
me and Justin have a favorite wrestler.
Oh, okay.
What?
A similar favorite wrestler, but I don't know if you like him for the same. Do you like Rob or Jean?
Wait, what?
Who's all right? Which Van Claude are you a fan of?
Oh, I like Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Okay, all right, never mind. I thought you liked Rob. My
Oh,
bad.
Rob
No,
Van
the only
Dam.
wrestlers I know, I watched one wrestling match with my dad when I was a kid, and it
One
was
match.
The Rock. It was The Rock and Shamrock and some other
Oh,
dude, and
that's
everyone was
cool.
just going, Shamrock sucks, Shamrock sucks. And then I was
Yeah.
just like, The Rock is awesome, and then
Hell yeah.
that's my wrestling experience.
All right. Oh, there you go. I just knew that Cooper was into it, so I wanted to bring it up because I was like, all right, we got Max with World of Warcraft. We got
Oh yeah.
we got Justin who he does it all. He plays World of Warcraft. He's a vocalist. I can identify with that. And I was like, I got to figure out a way to level with the bass player here. You know what I'm saying? So I was like,
That's the one.
there we go.
So before we take off from this subject, I just want to
Yeah.
I want to show you something that you will probably appreciate. So for
Yeah.
one of my best friends for his wedding,
Okay.
I was a groomsman, so
Okay.
he got us like these really cool groomsman gifts, right? And one of the ways he asked us to be groomsmen was he wrote us a really nice card and like a nice message, and we did like a friendsgiving, right?
Mhm.
He gave everyone who he was asking to be his groomsmen, he gave them a belt ring.
Oh, that's
So I had-
cool.
That's awesome.
What is
Right?
that? The
Y'all-
Intercontinental?
You got it, man. Yeah.
There we go. See, I know a thing or two. But
Gold one though. I know there's more than one. I think there's like a silver one. So it's the Intercontinental Heavyweight Wrestling Champion.
that's actually pretty cool. That is really
Right?
cool.
It was a really cool way because we're all into wrestling and he's
Yeah.
into it, and I actually wasn't friends with them when I was into it, so it was like a cool thing that we could connect in, as we became friends later
Yeah.
after it was not a big part of my life anymore.
Okay. So Max, if you're like what 20, 21?
21.
21. So what's it like being in a band with a couple of geriatrics? If you don't mind me asking.
Yeah. Cooper and Justin do not act like they're 30. let me
No,
tell
they
you.
don't. They don't.
No, they do not feel like they're any older than me, so it's fine.
This is going to be the most like unbelievable interview you probably will ever do. So I hope you enjoy it.
I'm all about it.
I'm having a great time.
Cool.
It's-
You're hilarious, dude.
Well,
Keep it up, seriously.
I don't know about that, but so I know that Justin, because Justin has left. So like long songs, like I know I went to school for journalism and English, but I see long blocks of text and I'm like, oh boy, because usually it's a Nightwish person cussing me out. But Justin left two very nice comments on our reaction videos to LED and Overconfidence. So I know that Justin watched it. Did either of you guys watch it? Or are you like, listen, I don't give one care in the world about this imbecile on the internet?
I watched.
Justin actually shared them with us to watch, and I think I did watch them, but I was running around doing stuff, so I only watched like the first 30 seconds of I think the Overconfidence one.
Okay.
And I think, was that the one where you were like, I can't tell if this dude with the hair is a dude or a chick?
No, I didn't say that. That probably was Adam, because Adam, he can't see very well. He's got glasses.
Or was that a different one? Or was that a
There might
different?
have been a different one. There was.
Okay.
I think it was
All right,
another
cool.
one with two other guys.
Because it was two dudes, and they both
They
had
were-
like
they
darker
were
hair,
looking
and
at
they were
Cooper,
both
and they're like,
cracking
"Is that a
jokes.
guy or a girl?" And one of them just goes, "It looks like a girl with dude arms."
I love it.
You-
I love it.
I don't think that was you guys. I think that was the
No.
other two guys.
Little
so
did they
funny.
know that's Alice Cooper's son. Can you believe that?
Yeah.
But okay. So what did you guys think of it? I'm very interested because I became, the reason why I wanted to have you guys on was one, Justin seemed very kind, and two, Max is Mike's son. No, I'm just kidding. But he was very nice, and the music was just very different because like we hear, I mean, the amount of music we listen to is just insane. So it was very unique, very different. And then I put together all the connections of, Justin being from around here and knowing Fathom and all that, blah, 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 blah. But what did you think of the reactions? Because from Justin, what he said, usually people kind of go like nutty when they hear you guys' stuff, which rightfully so. But I know that ours was probably a little bit different, especially for LED. I really dug Overconfidence a lot. I love that track. But yeah, what'd you guys think of those? And you can bury me. You can bury me. I don't care.
I have nothing bad to say about it. I remember I watched, and you were like in the corner, just kind of like vibing to LED, like trying to find like the time signature, and then your friend was just sitting there like.
Well, so yeah, so okay, listen.
I loved it. I was like, these guys are like opposites, and then you guys are like kind of talking about it a little bit, and then afterward, you were like, yeah, I think I like it. And he just goes like, what the hell was that? And I was just like, I wish I filmed my reaction to your reaction.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh, that's awesome. I didn't see that.
I loved it so much.
Well, because Adam.
I love.
Yeah, go ahead, man. Sorry.
I'm watching all the reactions. Sorry, it lagged out again for me. I was just saying I love keeping up with like all the different reactions on YouTube and everything.
Yeah.
So I love seeing all the different the ways different people are like reacting to it. Like some people I've seen get like really critical over it, which is kind of cool, but I don't know. I enjoy watching the reactions.
Yeah. So with Adam, he's 30. You know what? I don't care. I'll just say it. He's 36. So he started out well, yeah. So he looks very young, but so my this is my theory, right? So we're all. I know Max is even younger, so I'm surprised by it. But I know that I'm 27, so I know that Justin and Cooper, Justin, I believe you're 30 as well, correct?
I just turned 30.
Right.
Yeah.
So us like Limp Bizkit, nu metal was like that was like the entry point for us. So like we all, I think it's fair to say, like kind of like can understand that. But Adam is a little bit older to where like they started out listening to like. That ridiculous Norwegian death metal nonsense.
Oh,
but you know what I mean? You know
like
what I mean? So exactly. So he goes from that, and then when nu metal started to come out, he never really got into it because my theory is that they're already into like the metal, a different kind of metal, and then they hear that nu metal, and they're like, why are they rapping? Why are they doing this? This seems to be pure.
Great impression of
that's what they sound like.
Why do they have to do that?
Why do they have to have beats and rhymes over this guitar? But yeah. So that's my theory on it. So like for him, I've been trying to get him into it because, like I said, I'm a big fan of Earache, which has the nu metal feel, but obviously is heavy as hell. But so I love the nu metal stuff. So like I appreciate it. So LED, I could tell, is probably not the best first song to listen to by you guys. Is that
was like the worst first song.
Yeah. So we were originally going to do Overconfidence, but the way that we film them is we do every Monday. So I saw, okay, they just released a song on Friday. We'll just do the newest one. And I was just like, what in God's name is this? And Adam was obsessed. Adam was obsessed with Cooper just beating the shit out of the bass. That's
that
what
part made me crack up. I was crying, laughing when he goes back and like gets this.
Yeah.
With this bass, he's just punching his bass. This is the video. This
music. Yeah.
The entire video.
Yeah.
I gotta go back and watch that. I appreciate that.
It was
That's really cool.
So funny.
Yeah. He went back and like he like literally found like a still of you just going like
punch your face.
Yeah. No, it was good.
That has just a sidebar. That has happened in the studio. Me and Max were like, I was like tracking apart, and Max would like, there's like, it's like that meme where it's like, fucking Kylo Ren just going more, and then I just like and more intensely beating my bass as I'm playing it.
That is great. Yeah, I'm gonna pull up because I mean, you guys. I know that I said you guys have like a pretty large following like on Spotify, but even just going off of our YouTube algorithm, you know how it works on YouTube. You have like the last 10 videos and it shows you where they're ranked. You guys have placed inside the top 3 for both that we've done, so people want to watch them. So
actually, I was just on there and I was like, oh my God, I was just scrolling through. I was like, holy shit, LED's like the second or third one. I was like, fuck.
Yeah. I mean, our reaction to Overconfidence has about 2,500 views and it's third. So I mean, people want to watch it. So that's I mean, that's gotta. I mean, hey, I'm here to stroke your ego, make some jokes, have a good time. Yeah, just soak it all in. Maybe one day you'll be as big as Dream Theater. But Actually,
You're so quick with them. I love it.
it's all situational, man. I'm telling you, I'm being honest. But and being on YouTube helps with it too. You know, because I got to be known for something. Nobody likes my screams, so I gotta be known for.
I checked him out. I checked what Paradigm.
Oh yeah, that was our the song.
I checked that one out because at first I thought you guys were just a podcast thing, and then at the end of I think it was either LED or Overconfidence. You were like, "Yeah, it's talking about your band." I was like, "Oh, it's a band," and I went and checked that track out. Like, you got some pipes, dude. Don't be humble about it.
Well, I mean, I'm sitting here talking to the 10 ways to scream, man. You know, so I'm just a peon in this equation.
No, I liked your stage presence. You had that like the metalcore stage presence.
Yeah,
where you're just kind of like. Ugh.
Yeah, so we're actually putting on a new song this Friday. I'm gonna use your platform here to shamelessly promote, if you don't mind. But
this is your platform.
Well, it by virtue, right? But I mean, like, nobody's clicking on this like, oh my God, who is Richard interviewing? I'm not Joe Rogan, you know. They're clicking on this for Tala. I mean, let's call a spade here. Dude, as a joke, I might. I don't know though. I've been thinking about it. As a joke, I might put in parentheses Mike Portnoy's son. Like, you know, just.
Not you too.
No,
I won't. You too. That's like the dark side, man.
No, I won't do that. I won't do that.
But
you were supposed to bring balance to the force.
Yeah, because it's. I remember one time I saw a flyer. It was this band Lakeshore, and there was like Examure, and I'm like, okay, so maybe this is like a heavy band, and I'm like, bro, this is like music from my dad. Like, what's going on here? You can't put Examure and then just have like ding da ding da ding. You know what I mean? You can't do that. So I thought that was interesting, but. I'll get you guys out of here. Sure, I know I've had you for a while, but this was going really well. I wanted to keep the momentum going, so I hope you guys are okay with that. I wanted to ask you though, Justin. This is like from one lyricist vocalist to another. So I know that you do. I know that Matriphagy is a concept record, correct? Yeah. So my question to you was, because I when I write lyrics, I just kind of write about my life. There's really no concept to it. Do you kind of write in a way where like track 1 is the beginning of the story, and then track 13 in your case on this record is like the ending, or is it kind of like a Star Wars thing where it's like, no, song 6 is the beginning, and then you gotta listen to them out of sequence? So that was my first question about that concept of a concept.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
So like. When Max gave me the EP tracks, I wrote Kungan first, and then I wrote Placenta second. I'm pretty sure I went right in order of like what he told me was going to be the order of the songs, because I wanted that cohesive story.
Yeah.
But when we got to Matriphagy, it was like we had those songs, and then we scattered them and filled them in with new songs in between.
Okay.
So I'm like filling in the gaps, and then like I think. No One Should Read This was the last song Max sent me, and that's the first song. So I'm like, all right. So it's like I kind of started writing it as if it were the end. So it starts with that like whole like the way I paint the picture of it in the concept is like this is the end of the story. Like the cops bust into this place and like there's just like guts and blood and everywhere, and he's freaking out.
Yeah.
And then he starts telling you what happened. So Kungan is like the beginning of the story, but it's like it starts with the end of the story, and then it's like, here's what happened. Here's how we got here. So that's kind of like the layout of the whole thing. But sometimes, like that, my project Prilly T, I started with the first song, and then I wrote the last song. So I had the beginning and ending and just filled everything in.
I gotcha.
Sometimes I'll just start in the middle, and like I'm just like, which way do I want to go from here?
Yeah.
So it really just depends on the album and like the order that I get the songs in.
Okay. That's it, yeah. Because I was curious about that. Because, like I said, I've never tried. Because we've been going like the singles route. You know, just releasing singles like every few months just to build up the hype. No album plans or anything like that. But yeah. So, how did you guys determine to release the singles? Did the concept of it being a concept album have anything to do with the way you released the singles?
Not really.
No.
I don't think so.
Okay, well, you guys, I mean, it's part of storytelling. I mean, you know what I mean? But,
yeah, like I wish we could have done it that way, but it was kind of like.
No, I know.
The biggest issue was that with the EP stuff, it was like we already had released Placenta, we had released a video for Cottonmouth.
Yeah,
we had released a
okay.
video for We the Sad, and
Yeah.
then Red Light, and then suddenly it's like all of them got taken offline, and then we recorded the new album, and then it was like, well, now we're gonna put these back, but with the new mixes. So it was like just kind of put out in whatever order the label wanted us to put them out in.
Yeah. Okay.
It was a decision from higher up.
Uh-oh, the suits are infiltrating. The suits. The guy who hit you up on Instagram, now he's calling the shots. He at first he thought he was a Spotify playlist promoter. For only 30 euros, you can be on this playlist. But now, he's calling the shots. But no. But
Next, he's gonna be writing an album.
oh God, oh boy,
Yeah, I hope not.
You guys are
I'm
gonna
gonna have a bone to pick with.
You guys are gonna go from new metal to shoegaze in one album cycle. I can't believe it. But
This ain't the Brooklyn Sesh.
yeah. But all right, guys. Listen, man. I was so happy to talk to you guys. At first, I was talking to Justin, and then you guys multiplied. So
That's how we do.
it was awesome. I was happy to talk to all you guys, and I'm glad that you were receptive to my I don't know, my interview style, my humor, because I never know. I try to feel them out a little bit, and then I just kind of lay into it. But I'm glad.
That was amazing. No complaints here. I had some great laughs.
All right, well, I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. And Max, thanks for being a late addition. I know that you're too busy holding up your dad's namesake out there in the public eye. So I know you have a very tall task, on a daily basis. You go to Starbucks, they got to ask you. I understand. So I really appreciate you taking the time.
I got you.
I appreciate you taking the time doing this. And Cooper, I know you just play bass, but you're one of the cooler bass players
fine,
that
man.
I have met. So
If you ever say just play bass again, I'm gonna hit you with my bass.
Well, listen.
There's this video. Somewhere on YouTube. It was that crazy show we played at the Palladium, and
Oh my
I remember
God, yeah.
I'm watching it, and I'm like, all right, this is cool. And then all of a sudden, the guy filming it turns, and Cooper's next to him, and he's like 2 floors up, and I just go, "When the fuck did Cooper leave?" Like, it was so confusing.
Well, dude, like I said, my first introduction to Cooper was him punching a bass. So, I mean, I had high expectations here. But, all right, guys. You guys take care. I really appreciate you
You
doing
too.
this. I hope
Thank
that
you so much for having us.
Yeah,
Thank you so much for doing the reactions, man. I'm gonna go back and watch them again. They're fucking sick.
Oh,
Cool,
you
man.
have to. They're amazing.
Dude, I hope we cross paths. I know that we're very close in proximity relatively, so hopefully when shows come back up, we're not just a reaction channel. We play a few notes. We hit a few snares, you know what I'm saying? But, hopefully we can cross paths and maybe rip a show together one of these days. But
With freaking Alex doing what he does, I guarantee it'll happen.
Oh, fuck
yeah,
yeah.
for sure.
When you want a show to throw together, he throws it together.
Yeah. But
Richard, I have a question about your bassist.
okay. Oh boy. Okay.
Yeah,
Oh boy.
What does he wear a hat when he plays live?
That's a good question. Sometimes.
Oh, sometimes.
It's like you
How
never.
long does it stay on his head?
Ooh, that's an even better question. I kind of don't even observe him. You know what I mean? I guess, but no, I don't think he wears one too often.
I just looked you guys a live show up.
Oh God, don't watch that. Come on, man.
He's
Listen.
not wearing a hat.
Listen, man. I just try to be as honest as I can. Our new stuff I enjoy way more, but the EP stuff, But, it is what it is. But anyways, guys, once again, thank you so much for coming on. It was a pleasure to talk to you guys. And,
Thank you so much, dude.
maybe, like I say to every guest, maybe we'll be like Joe Rogan, episode 1273, you'll be back on, for the third go.
I'm sure we'd love to. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, dude.
Cool. All right, guys. You guys take care. And, make sure you all go out there, listen to Matriphagy. Just came out on Friday, October 2nd. 13 tracks. I know that some of the songs are, they're about 5 minutes long. I know that for people like me, you might lose your mind, but I trust me. If I can handle it, you can too. But on that note, guys, make sure you check out Matriphagy by Tala. And all right, guys, take care.
Bye.
Peace.
Peace out.
Thank you once again for checking out our podcast, The True Shot Guest Spot. It would mean a lot to us if you could give us a helping hand. Head on over to social media at TrueShot Band on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Check out our Twitch, where we stream every Monday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time and every Saturday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, twitch.tv/TrueShotOfficial. And if you really want to help us out, head on over to our Patreon where tiers start as low as $2. Also pick up some merch, all that good stuff. And please listen to our music, Spotify, Apple Music, wherever you listen to music. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you later. Bye-bye.